Every day, as the sun rises over the beautiful shores of Lake Atitlan, hundreds of men begin another day trapped in addiction. For many, addiction has stolen almost everything: their families, their jobs, their health, their dignity, and their purpose. It leaves them believing that nothing will ever change. Most people just see an addict, a drunk, a hopeless case. But what does God see when he looks at a man trapped in addiction? Jesus once held up something so small that most people would overlook it: a mustard seed. And he said, "The kingdom of heaven is like this mustard seed. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it becomes the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree." At Animo, we've come to believe that every man we meet is like that mustard seed. Easy to overlook, broken, forgotten, but filled with a God-given potential. Not because of who they are today, but because of who God has created them to be. Because God doesn't see an addict, he sees a seed. 5 years ago, God planted one small seed, and his name was Victor. What began as one friendship became another, and then another. We didn't begin with a strategic plan. We didn't begin with a building. We simply began by loving one person at a time. Today, more than 40 men have encountered the love of Jesus Christ in Animo. We've watched addictions being broken, families being restored, purpose rediscovered, and men who once needed help become the very ones helping others. People often ask us what the name Animo means. In Spanish, Animo is a word of encouragement. It's what you say to someone who feels like giving up. It means, "Come on, keep going, you can do this." That's exactly what we want every man to hear. When shame says, "You'll never change," we say, "Animo." When addiction says, "You're too far gone," we say, "Animo," because we believe Jesus is transforming lives. But helping men become sober has never been the finish line. Sobriety is just the beginning. The prophet Isaiah gives us a picture of what God really desires. He says they will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. An oak doesn't grow overnight. It takes time for its roots to grow deep, for it to stand through storms, and for it to provide shade for those around it. Eventually, an oak becomes a place of strength, blessing, and refuge. And that's what we pray God will grow in every man who comes through Animo. Not simply men who have overcome addiction, but men deeply rooted in the love of Jesus Christ. Faithful husbands, loving fathers, dependable workers, faithful friends, and servants of God. Men whose lives provide hope to others. Men who display the splendor of God wherever they go. That's why we do what we do. We plant seeds of friendship, and we walk beside men with the love of Jesus Christ. And when we trust God to bring the growth, men become the oaks of the tiny seeds of hope planted in them. This is the vision of Animo, to see forgotten men become oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. And we are seeing his splendor on display.
Animo!